We were sitting like 15, 20 people. We're doing the same thing. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's the same companies every year for the
Okay, sure.
That's no way of telling me to shut up. I think
Okay, great. Okay, so thanks for coming to Beam Authentic to hear a little bit about what we're doing. My name is Andrew Zenoff, and I'm the CEO and founder of Beam Authentic, and I'm going to just sort of walk you through what we're doing, why we're doing, how we're doing. We're actually going to give you your own beams that you can play with and take with you, so you have plenty of time. But if I give them to you now, you won't listen to anything I say. So I'm holding off. I want to put them in your hands, but I take a couple minutes to first chat, and then it's over. I can leave. But I just quickly want to introduce, I'll tell you a little bit about me, but my CEO who's doing a little filming right here, this is Jonathan Shamgroom.
Hello.
Hey, Jonathan.
Nice to see you all.
Jonathan has been in tech for over 20 years and has done about 10 tech companies and 8 exits, and his deep knowledge and brain behind technology and software has really been his focus across a lot of different areas of technology. And I asked him to film right now, so he's also doing film. So thanks, Jonathan, appreciate it. So just quickly on me, I'm a serial entrepreneur my whole life, for better and for worse. And I 22 years ago built my first company, and I usually invent products and build a company around it, and then create a new category in different industries. It's sort of what I've always done. Always trying to find solutions to improve things about life that make life and moments more meaningful. Just my MO. And because I was selling product into retail for 22 years and working with all the major retailers around the country and also worldwide, I started thinking a lot about where there's weakness in the person-to-person experience and where there's opportunity. And then I actually had the pleasure of building a small retail chain out in California and operating that for about 10 years before I sold it. And that also gave me a lot of insight into knowing how difficult it is to operate a retail chain, even though mine was very small compared to the ones that you're all involved with. But it also gave me insight into thinking about where there's missing opportunity and where there's some pain points. Also, growing up in San Francisco and watching Silicon Valley and technology evolve, and specifically watching Amazon and the online world happen, I started thinking more and more about, wow, a lot of our peers, Jonathan and our peers are involved with technology and Facebook and everything that's about connecting people online. And I started thinking about the importance of making sure that we can continue to connect people offline. And that really became the impetus for Beam Authentic, was how do we actually use technology and sort of in some ways be the antithesis, the anti-Amazon, because our focus is we want to build meaning and connect people in the real world and in store settings. So that became the whole premise. We started working on this company 3.5 years ago, developing the technology, and we have sort of best in breed people who are involved with us. And Jonathan and I have developed this business, and over the last year we've been testing the product, doing pilots and learning a lot and giving feedback to ourselves to improve it. So I told you a little bit about us. Our manufacturing partner is Foxconn, who does all of Apple's products. So we have the best in breed for our hardware, but we really are a software business. Our focus is our software platform that we're just launching this month. And Jonathan and I had the pleasure of demoing it this week for the first time to the public, to Bank of America and Ron Johnson's company Enjoy, and they loved it. They're very excited about it. I'll talk you through that in a second. But basically the concept is, I know that you're all familiar with this, people have limited attention. You have a customer for a limited moment and a limited attention. How do we make the most out of that moment, and what can we do to engage them in a deeper relationship and ultimately drive brand, drive relationship, and of course drive revenue? But getting to driving revenue is about driving brand, and it's about driving relationship. So the whole premise of Beam Authentic is to create deeper relationship. So this is the beam. I'm wearing a beam, Jonathan's wearing a beam. You all get beams, and basically it's the name tag of tomorrow it's here today. So this name tag, if you think about the original name tag, if you think about like a bank teller wearing a name tag or in a store, the whole idea of the name tag was to humanize the experience so that you know I'm a person and I have a name and I'm not just a professional being, you know, or body. So Beam basically takes the name tag to the next level is how do we humanize this experience? How do we, our whole premise is we want to break the veil of I'm a professional person, you're a customer, and I'm selling you a product, but rather I'm a human being, you're a human being. How do we connect around common interests? How do we connect around other things deep in this relationship? And ultimately, that has great, you know, impact on the relationship to the brand because everybody likes to be, you know, felt that they're important and also like to have a human experience. So the whole idea with the Beam is that companies can put the beams on their employees and then program as much content as they want into slideshows. And all of a sudden, if you think about digital signage, it's impersonal. There's a sign on a wall, there's a sign standing there, there's a billboard on a freeway. It has nothing to do with a human experience. But all of a sudden, when a human being is wearing information, there's a certain level of trust about if I'm having it on my body, there's something that I'm willing to stand behind, something that I'm willing to have on my body. So the way that we think about engaging with different companies is we say, hey, you can put your information about rewards, opportunities, and special promotions, and the name, but if you start to put information about who am I, your employee, maybe where I'm from, or a hobby, or if I love dogs, a picture of my Labrador, if I have a baby, a picture of my baby, all of a sudden it invites dialogue to create this more human experience, person to person. Oh wow, is that your dog? Yeah, oh, I have a dog, you know, so it opens up dialogue as well as putting on things about your company to do with your values and your mission and things that are, you know, so much more important today than they've ever been. So that's where we, through all of our testing with lots of different companies, and I'll tell you about them, we have found that the qualitative impact of connecting people in these conversations around commonality is, you know, actually at the highest level, and then it's about product and promotion, but it's about who am I, who's our company as a culture, as a value, and how do we connect with you, the customer. So what the Beam does, it actually works is it invites conversation, it creates a human experience, and it draws things that you might have in common or curiosities and deepens that conversation. So whether you're standing in line for a cup of coffee and you've got, everyone in line for a coffee is doing this on their phone, they come up, here's my cappuccino, but you got their attention while they're paying, and that's about it. So while they're paying, all of a sudden when there's a beam on a person, they become captivated by this content and start asking questions, and then you can easily stop the content and all of a sudden start talking about whatever it is they're asking about. And ultimately that becomes measurable through our SaaS platform. How long was that content stopped? How long was that focused on? And you can start to test and explore different KPIs and things. So just quickly on the platform, our SaaS platform allows organizations to create content and just publish it to beams across multiple locations, multiple time zones on their employees. The beams are plugged into hubs at night at the store level, or at the coffee level, at the restaurant level. And they're plugged in at night, they receive content and they charge. It only takes 90 minutes for the beam to charge from empty, and they last between 8.5 to 10 hours depending on the content. They can hold up to 100 images, but at any particular moment you can run a 10-image slideshow made up of still images and GIFs that can be programmed on an auto-published calendar across. So you can say, okay, I want my Southeast stores to have this playing, I want my manager. You can customize each individual beam. You can put them into groups and say, okay, all my cashiers are wearing this content, all my salespeople are wearing this content, this region is wearing this content on these days at these times. So you can totally automate and publish based on a calendar. So it becomes a very efficient tool for directing content. And so the beams load up at night, they're charged, and the next day the employees come in, take it and put it on their lapel, their apron. By the way, this is a beam. I'm going to pass it on 1 second, but you'll see it's very lightweight. We made it so it doesn't drag. We wanted it to be able to come off really quickly if you want to do something with it. And it's on a magnet that's got a front and back piece that's stuck in my shirt so it won't come off. It's a very strong magnet. Big part goes behind, the switch in front, that goes in and clicks into place. It also comes with a pin case, so if you're in a business where there's a lot of movement, you're worried about knocking or something, you can just pin it on the apron, and you'll get them. We can go through it. But so we've had about 25 companies do pilots and explore it over this last year, so that we could learn and get feedback and keep building our platform to make sure that we give you what you want. But so Pete's Coffee has been using it and have found that it's been extremely impactful for not only their qualitative experience of engagement with customers, but ROI on being able to promote specific drinks and new drinks and things like that, as well as promotions. Ron Johnson's company, Enjoy, it's a delivery company for technology. It helped make the customer at home feel more comfortable. We've done it with sports teams and stores up in Canada, Rogers Wireless, Roundtable Pizza, Virgin. So these are just some of the companies that have been exploring it, and now we're in conversations because they all want to roll it out. The software wasn't available, so they were doing these tests without even the software, using our mobile app to load up things, which is one way. You can also load things by Bluetooth, but it's not efficient for a scaling company. So we're engaged with a lot of different brands that you all know. This is just about our market. We've got great investors behind us. We're out in San Francisco, so we've got a lot of tech and finance people who like the vision of connecting people in the real world and how to build in-person relationship. So, Jonathan, do you want to pass out the beams for everybody?